I was gonna go to bed at a reasonable time last night. No. Part 5 destroyed me. Hayden is doing fantastic things. I'm so proud of Hayden. Hayden's the only one that I'm not even worried about anymore, which is weird because it started out where I was thinking Hayden was going to die, and now I'm just like, yeah, Hayden, he's got this. He has got this. Lev. I thought Lev died and I lost the will to exist. I like literally curled up and I was like, no, I give up on everything. But I think he might be okay. When they were talking about how he's hooked up to machines and he's kind of in like a comatose thing now, and come on, Nick, get your skin jackers on this, send him back. Lev has changed so much in this series. Like, I just feel like I don't know him at any given moment. It kind of comes full circle, but this time he wasn't a clapper. He's still the clapper that didn't clap, but this time instead of being passively the clapper that didn't clap, he's very actively the clapper that didn't clap, or I guess the not clapper that clapped. My love. They captured Connor and Risa. They're in this like airship thing, and Connor was unwound. I don't believe that. There's no way. There's got to be some way that Connor lives. I mean, they can put people back together. They've done it. They've done. Speaking of which, oh my God, Cam. Cam isn't a killer. He tried to kill that one kid, and he talked exactly like Cam did when Cam was first born. And oh my God, it was beautiful. One of the most powerful moments by far in this chapter, when Starkey was going to be unwound and Connor had to kill him before it happened. I didn't think there was any possible way I could feel sorry for Starkey after everything Starkey did, and I didn't in a way, but that he ended up being just another kid begging for his life before being unwound, that even the great Starkey has turned into that, was so powerful. It just hit home so much. And the fact that it was Connor who had to kill him before he could be unwound. Harvested but not unwound. And he tried to do it with Roland's arm, and Roland is not a killer. And even Roland, who was unwound in the first book, his character was developed in this part. And later on, when it showed Roland's mother, and she said she'd welcome him back, that killed me! Oh my God! This book is so fantastic at making all of the characters interconnected and developed, and even if they're not directly involved in the story, you just feel so much for them and for their situations and for their families. Argent, still alive. Really, really kind of shades of grey character. He's not evil, he's not good. He has been hunting Connor down for the last entire book, and now he's helping Connor. And you're like, oh, maybe he's turned over a new leaf, maybe he's a good guy. But then he watches Nelson being unwound. He just watches it happen, and that is definitely psychopathic behavior. This entire part was so twisted. The piano that they make Risa play with the faces, it just, wow, don't do that. Risa has been through so much. She is so lost right now. I feel so bad for her. When I thought Roberta was going to shoot Cam, I just like, no more death, this can't happen. And it's funny how I care so much about the characters who are named, but then when other kids are unwound, it's kind of like, shunted aside. And that also kind of makes you think. Gracie! For all the people who could have wound up with the organ printer, Grace was the best because she knows exactly who to look for to give it to, and she followed through. And all of those things, Cam and Lev and Grace came together at exactly the right time, and there was change happening, and I'm so proud of them all. The ending chapter was so beautiful, with all of the strangers kind of coming together against unwinding. Wow, that was extremely powerful. Characters who are like one-off characters have been a major part of this book, and they're so beautifully tied in together. Just the idea that everyone on Earth has a story, and it's told. In the beginning of the book, I thought that there were too many characters kind of telling their stories at once, but now all of the characters' stories are coming together in such a way that it is incredibly beautiful, and I'm so happy how this is being done. I really wanted Connor to meet his family. Connor needs to come back. Maybe there was a glitch. Maybe he wasn't really unwound. Well, part 5. Part 6 was the most beautiful thing I've ever read in my entire life. I'm so glad they're all okay and happy. And Except for that last sentence. Why? It couldn't have been done more beautifully. Not only did they tie up perfectly all of the characters that we've loved from this book and what happened to them, but characters who were favorites from the first book, from Unwind. The Admiral came back, and Miraculina finally, and Sci-Fi, and they had the wedding for Will and Una. Una deserved that, but at the same time, it was really bittersweet. I didn't expect Cam and Una to be a thing, but I guess that could just be a friendship thing. Lev has a freaking kinkajou. The reunion between the three of them, the golden trio, Connor, Lev, and Risa, haven't been together since Unwind, and they're such friends by circumstance. They are still so close together. They've been through so much, and just seeing them together again was fantastic. They've all changed so much. Tithe, Clapper, Reservation, Resident, to the not Clapper who did clap and almost died, but now he's back. Connor he was the Akron AWOL, the new Admiral of the Graveyard, and he lost everything, and he just turned back into Connor, but not the Connor who was the one who disobeyed all the rules and broke everything. Now he's the Connor who has been in so many positions of power and has changed the world, and I'm so proud of him. And Risa has finally found purpose, not just in the things she's accomplished, but in the people she's met and the bonds she's created. And the three of them are so happy when they're together. I love how Lev got pieces of all these random people who weren't Unwinds. That just really drove the point home. The goodness of people is more important than the malicious, unwinding forces. And when Sci-Fi called Lev Fry, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. Some things have changed since Unwind and some things never change, and it just makes me so happy. Now we're gonna see what that last sentence is all about. It's done. I finished Undivided. Wow. The Unwind trilogy has been so special to me. Like, it has been one of my favorite series, like Harry Potter Unwind trilogy. This was the greatest ending I could have imagined. Neal Shusterman does not disappoint, ever. The thing about ending such a great series is that it leaves you completely satisfied and yet empty at the same time. You are so happy with how it's ended, and you're so happy how it turned out. Everything's just great for the characters, but you need to know everything that happens after. I want to know what happened with Grace, what happened with Hayden after that. Did Connor and Risa grow up and have 12 babies they never unwound in like 4 storks? Like, what happened with storking anyway? What happens now? And Lev. Oh my Lev, where will he go next? What will that rascal get up to with his kinkajou? He's got a kinkajou now. I think there's really something to be said about leaving us with this much imagination left, this much chance to explore the world, because not only does it reflect how open the world is, how much information we've been given that we can still expand on, but also it allows us to reflect on our own world. Especially the last segment he chose for the last segment of Undivided. At first I thought it was a little odd because it was still kind of dark. It was about how there are camps that parents will actually take their children to for correctional things, and then these people get abused and killed. And I thought that was an odd choice for the last sort of wrap up, everything's happy now part of the book. But then I realized that the point of the book has never been that everything's going to end okay. The point of the book has been, this could happen in our own world, and it is happening in our own world. And to leave us with that part of it as the last chapter, that was just so powerful. Maybe the next time that giant group of teenagers is blocking off the hallway down to my locker, I won't shove my way through them while rolling my eyes. Maybe I'll just go, maybe they have stories. Maybe they have things going on in their lives. Okay, I'll probably still push past them because they're pretty annoying, but it's better if you picture one of them as like Connor. When I finish really, really good books, I always get this feeling of all of the characters kind of expanded out throughout the story. if you finish just, a regular book, a book you enjoyed, it'll stick with you for a while, but you'll really only kind of think about, oh, that was good, I liked how this happened with the characters. Books like this that are so extremely profoundly well spread out leave you wondering what happened to each and every character, and it just creates a sense of such a community within the entire world of the book and with your own world. And I don't know if other people feel that, but I feel that so much. I'm just thinking still about Connor's family who finally met up with them, and Roland's family, how is his mom doing? And I'm thinking about Hayden's family, and don't his parents disagree with that? And not just the families of these people, but also all the adults they met along the way and all the children they met along the way. What happened to Argent now? What happened to Devon? Are they still flying around the world? Just every character. But then I picture them all, where they are now, and they all have smiles on their faces, and I'm so happy for them. And they feel so real to me, I don't even know. This is so amazing. The pacing of this book was brilliant. It really, really took off after part 3, like, full force. And it was brilliant. I mean, it wasn't just a progression from the beginning where everything was bad to the end where things were basically resolved, but there were all these little bits in the middle where you met more characters, good and bad, and terrible things happened, and along the way the characters progressed so much. And I just keep coming back to the characters because this is such a wonderfully character-driven story, but it's not only the characters that make it what it is, it's so fantastic. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write an email to Hayden, radiofreehayden@yahoo.com. Hayden, stay home. Goodbye, Hayden. In a moment of passion, I just sent in-character fan mail. You can do it too.